Hi everyone, this is Alysia, also known as AVP. So I'm back with my next Mandalorian review for season 3, episode 6. Wow, what an episode. This is what I was waiting for from the intro of this season because this episode, a lot happens in it. It has a lot of good storytelling, a lot of guest stars that are really well known in it. The music really is good, the plot's really good, it really holds together. This is what I was waiting for when the season started. But here it is that we're getting toward the end of the season. It's kind of sad in a way that we had to wait toward the very end to get to this kind of excellent storytelling. But I'm glad we know that it's still there. Because I was a little bit doubtful about this, but I'm glad it held up and it did what it was supposed to do. There are some familiar guest stars in here. Some of them you will recognize. I'm not going to spoil it, it's so hard to spoil it, but. And there's a lot of tie ins to previous Star Wars characters and some of the ones from the Mandalorian universe that we've been introduced to before, so that was kind of nice. There's also some familiar looking type of characters in here as well, and it also explains why there's some problems going on within the Mandalorian universe that's going on and who's behind those problems that are going on. This was a very, very good episode. I will give it a solid 9 out of 10. The only thing that's missing from it to make it a solid 10 is basically when they did some of the pacing, basically, where it cut from one story to another, basically, because some of it was like really, really getting really, really good, and then as soon as it starts to get really, really good, they cut it off. Or it seemed a bit, what's the word I'm looking for? It seemed like it was basically seemed like it was going to be expected, basically, that you knew that was going to happen, and you're like, why couldn't you just throw in something that's a little bit different? There's a little bit of reference to me, in my opinion, of Alice in Wonderland in this one as well. So that was kind of nice to see that in a little bit. We get to see more of Grogu in this. Grogu's becoming more and more of a secondary character in many ways in this season. But he does get some special treatment in this one, and he gets a lot of love in. I will say that. And it's nice to see Grogu get a lot of that in this episode. So that's nice. We get to see Mandalorian Mando, that is, as we lovingly call him, or Din John. We get to see a little bit more of him working with Bo-Katan a little bit more, so that's kind of nice to see that. I'm not gonna spoil it because this is so hard to not spoil it, but it's a very good episode. I really, really say that because this was the episode I was hoping we would have gotten with the story writing from the very beginning, but we didn't get it until now. But yeah, this was a very, very good episode. The storytelling's well, the music's good, the guest stars are good, the plot was really well. It was just missing a couple of little things with the pacing, or make things like, oh, I wasn't expecting that one. Some of it seemed a little bit like contrived. It seemed like, this is going to be expected, basically. But overall, this was a really good episode. I really, really enjoyed this episode. I highly recommend it. Next week is episode 7, and that's when my fiance comes in for us to get married. I'm not sure if I will be reviewing it that day, but if you see it a little bit later on in the day or a little bit later on, this is why. Because my fiance is coming into town and we're getting things together for the wedding, which is now 10 days away. So please bear with me if you see a little bit later in my review than you normally would, or if you see it a little bit earlier than I normally do. This is why. Or if you see it in a different setting than you normally do, this is why. Because my fiance is in town that week, and yeah. So, hope you guys have a good rest of your day. This is AVP or Alysia signing off, and you guys have a good rest of your Wednesday. Until next time, bye.